Oh, it's amateur night on Loose Screws podcast.
It is. It's the A-B team.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
The JV. We're the JV.
The JV. The JV.
The JV team. Yep.
It's all right. Have you ever seen those point guards pass? That's what the game's about at that level.
Oh, it is.
No one's here. No one's a hero here. No one's a hero here. Well,
no legendary, no Elite 5, just us.
Yep.
No Elite 5. I have a couple Elite 1s now.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sweating right now. I just got my first PvP kill. I'm seriously sweating. My palms are sweaty. It's hot too, but mostly my adrenaline's pumping.
You want to name him? You want to shout him out?
No, he doesn't deserve that type of fame. Listen, if Boromir got you, get good, because I'm not. Because I'm not. You've done screwed up. All right, listen, it is the 291st episode on the 3rd of July.
That's America Eve, people.
That's America Eve. And for you listeners, it's probably the 4th of July. So watch those fingers. It's 2025 or
3311.
3311.
I'm just going to let you do it.
Now. Keep going.
All right, let's see. Today I am joined, I'm Commander Boromir. I think I said that. I'll say it again. I am joined today by Blooming Wind.
He's silent.
Blooming Wind. Well, I'm also joined by Oblivious, if you heard his voice already.
I'm not silent. I'm here. Hello, people.
Sorry about that. Yeah, my VPN decided to VPN and block you guys, so I had to turn it off.
Another country. Okay, got you.
Yeah, I had to change countries.
Well, there's Blooming Wind keeping your HIPAA data safe, even when you don't need to.
Your HIPAA is safe with me.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, let's go around the room. Blooming Wind, how have you been? It's been a couple of weeks, I feel like.
Yeah, it's been almost a month.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been busy. So a few weeks ago, we got my mom moved into her apartment. She was living with us for about 6 months after she broke her collarbone, but before her apartment was ready for her to move into, because she moved from New Jersey down here to beautiful Nashville. And I've been attending for the CCU, the cardiac care unit, for the last week and a half, which includes July 1st, the switch day, where you have all the brand new baby doctors come in. So it's been an adventure, and everybody's fantastic. It's been seamless, except for the fact that I have a terrible cardiology fellow. She's like a 5th-year resident. So you do like 3 years of internal medicine and 3 years of cardiology. And she's a piece of work. So had to actually turn at one point because she was a little bit of a problem child. Yeah. So when you do a procedure on somebody, you have to go through code status with them to make sure that they're do not resuscitate, because whenever you do a procedure on somebody, they could die. And
I heard about this
you want to be able to you want to be able to resuscitate them, because like usually when things happen, it's very, very, very fixable. Like if they react too much to the sedation and their breathing gets shallow, you want to be able to, put them on a breathing machine if you have to, if their breathing becomes really shallow. But if they're like, do not intubate, it's like, well, this is reversible. This is just intubating you for an hour until the medicine wears off or something. So anyway,
right.
So I'm downstairs in the cath lab doing a procedure down there, and I come up to the case upstairs waiting for me in our TE procedure room, and I asked her, tell me the story, what's going on. We do the timeout, all that kind of stuff, and we do the procedure. Procedure goes great, and then I go to do my charting for the procedure a few hours later, and I has the pre-procedure note for me to co-sign, and there's a addendum to it saying that Mr. So-and-so decided he wanted to be DNR. And it's like there's a big yellow band across the top of his chart, his electronic chart, saying he's full code. And I call her up and I'm like, can you explain what this addendum means, that the patient was do not resuscitate? Please tell me you wrote this addendum after we did the procedure, even though the timestamp says you wrote this before. And she's like, when I was consenting him, he and his wife said that he wants to be do not resuscitate. He does not want to be intubated. And I was like, we're doing a procedure. You have to reverse it. Like by, hospital regulations and every other regulation on the planet, you rescind a DNR order for 24 hours whenever you do a procedure. Well, he didn't want to. And I'm like, well, did it ever occur to you to tell your attending? And she's like, well, we weren't doing a cardioversion, which is when you shock someone out of AFib. So I didn't think that it mattered. I was like, we're giving him sedation. He could stop breathing if he overreacts to it. And she's like, and I was like, and that he's a do not intubate? Like, she never even apologized. And I was like, this is like the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Because like, there's no remorse. And she was completely oblivious to the fact that it's like, she completely violated hospital policy and made me unknowingly violate hospital policy. I mean, was it no harm, no foul? Sure. But still, I'm like, Jesus Christ, you do not do a procedure on a DNR patient. And it's like, I don't even think he understood what he was getting into by saying he was. But then later in the afternoon, we had a patient we had to go see him as a consult. And it was a patient who came in with diabetic ketoacidosis the night before. And so that's when your blood gets really acidic from really high blood sugar. And, he had a little bit of kidney injury because when this happens, you become really dehydrated. And so in that whole context, his heart enzyme, something called troponin, was a little bit elevated. Everybody freaks out when your troponin gets elevated. The cardiologists have to explain away every troponin or whatever. So, I mean, it was because he was, briefly hypotensive and his blood was very acidic briefly, that from his diabetic ketoacidosis, that this troponin bumped. And so to me, I was like, okay, this is fine. They fixed everything. He's looking good. It's no big deal. At some point, we're going to want to do a heart catheterization or whatever. But anyway, so she presents the patient. She's like, I think we need to go do the cardiac catheterization tomorrow morning. And I'm like, no, his kidney function is all jacked up and it'll cause, he could have like a problem with his kidneys from the dye. And she's like, but we had a 3-day weekend coming up. So, I wanted to get it for the 3-day weekend. And I'm like, yeah, and you're going to put him on dialysis for the entire 3-day weekend if you do that. So like, no, you're insane. We are not doing this. And I was like, twice in the same day, I had to slap her hand. I mean, it was just like ridiculous.
That's wild. Your problems are so much different than the problems I have at work.
What are your problems at work, Baramir?
We'll get into that. But okay. The stakes are so much higher.
Well, I mean, not so much. I mean, these residents and fellows have training wheels on them. So, we're pretty good. We're watching over their shoulder, but, far be it for me not to let someone know they're being a moron when they're being an absolute moron, because it's good for them to know that.
I do so much love hearing gloomy wind stories. And then I hate hearing gloomy wind stories, especially when I'm going in to proceed to a procedure and I remember those stories. I'm going, oh, fuck, I'm screwed.
Yeah, I will say though that we've had a fourth-year medical student with us for the last 2 weeks who's better than my fellow, and actually she's been absolutely spectacular. And she was performing as good or better than some of the interns. So, that was a ray of sunshine and gave me great hope, and should give you great hope because she's going to be an anesthesiologist. Oblivious. So maybe you can be where. Maybe I can send her to do anesthesia where you are, so she can put you to sleep every time you need to be put to sleep.
There we go. There
you go.
Just had one put me to sleep last week, and she did a fabulous job.
Good.
That is such a strange experience where, it's just you lose time.
Yeah,
you're talking to someone, you wake up in a different area, and it's so unlike regular sleep because you still have that impression of time, but being put under like this chunk of time just disappears. It's so weird. Anyway,
it's very unique because I mean, when I had my surgery in March, it was I go back, they bring me into the OR, and then they're like, okay, we're going to give you some medicine to make you sleepy. And I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden I'm in this, in the recovery area with a sore stomach. And I'm like, well, I guess I lived and I guess they're done. So,
yeah. Very good.
Yeah. So that's been
Next.
my 3 weeks. Next.
Oblivious. What's going on, my man?
Well, I wasn't planning on being on the podcast. I'm at the family lake house, and my brother and half his brood is here, and my wife and I are here, and half of my brood is here, and my mother's here. So it's a full batch, but they kind of wound down a little bit today. We came down early, my wife and I, so it'd been um, the joys of owning a lake house. When you get older, is you're the one that does all the work, so all the kids can have fun, right? So cutting grass and pressure washing crap, and doing all of that. So that's been going on, and then everybody showed up, so we've been having fun. But then I checked in and saw that we only had 2 folks lined up for tonight, so I thought I would just drop in. And I'm not prepared, but that just means I'll ask a bunch of questions. In game, before we took off to come down here, we had over the weekend, another CQC session that I really enjoyed. I guess since I hadn't ever played it before, I guess the matching is working better. It still has issues where you'll come out of a game and you'll get this calm error, but we'll back all the way out and go back in. But it doesn't always put everyone back into the next match. It does still have the strange bit where you've got 6 players lined up, and it'll put 2 players in one game and 4 players in the other. But if you let it cycle, every once in a while, you do get several iterations of everybody into the same match. And yeah, I've been really enjoying it. I had been staying away from it for a while because of people said problems with the matchmaking, but it seems to be working well, and we've had a good time of it. So I'm going to try to at least set up something once a week where we get together with the Screws and or other groups, and it's great fun. So you get a chance, join us sometime. It's a blast. Don't be afraid about it. Everybody gets blown. My very first kill was Chig. So
Nice.
Everybody blows up. So
except Musketeer.
And it doesn't cost you. Well, I haven't met Musketeer yet. I'm sure I will at some point, and I'm sure he will absolutely spank me. But yeah, like I said, it doesn't cost you anything. It is a different type of flying. You got to think a little bit differently about what you do with your pips, and turning is a bit of a challenge when you come with some of your higher engineered ships in the game. But from that perspective, it's fun. It's a new piloting challenge, and hell yeah! I mean, I've got I don't know, maybe 25 matches under my belt. I'm already in the top 25% CQC ranking. So it just shows you the number of folks that may try it once and back out of it. So shout out to this. You guys come join us. I put events in for this. Watch it in our Discord, and and even if you're not part of those Screws, talk to us. We'll tell you when we're playing. Come on out and join us. It's fun.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't done it in a while, but it is a lot of fun. I mean, the times that I've done it, it's only been like 3 or 4 of us, but it's a good change of pace. And for everybody who worries that, you're starting it for the first time and somebody else has a different ship unlocked or a different set of guns unlocked, it's really like rock, paper, scissors. So, it's not, oh my gosh, you're going to be going up against somebody with the golden gun and, you've got like a pea shooter. You both got different kinds of pea shooters. One's a pea shooter and one's a lentil shooter or something. So
not the case. Not the case.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know why, but I've never actually associated a pea shooter with an actual pea. I don't know why, but thanks for that. blowing
You're
my
welcome.
just blew my
Well,
mind.
speaking of short PP reports, what do you got going on, Bearmore?
That hurts. It hurts. This week was actually pretty great. My nephew just graduated high school, and so we got to have a nice little big party for him. And it's so great to see him do that. He's definitely the type of compassionate kid that you just want to see do really well. He's got a great head on his shoulders. He wants to go pre-med, so we'll see how that goes. You know how that journey begins with a lot of people, right?
Yep.
But yeah, he's if there's going to be a kid, I feel like that's going to give it a good shot. It's going to be him. So really excited to kind of see him off and see what he's got going on in the future. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
Thinking about
so what is it? Is it the organic chemistry that usually converts them to business majors? Is that how that works?
Yeah, but they're trying to get less requirement-y. The med school admittee people are talking about things like
that builds
proficiency.
confidence, even more confidence.
That's what you want to hear.
That's great.
Yeah, it's proficiencies versus requirements and stuff like that. I mean, like when I hear our med school people talking all their academic wonky stuff, it completely raises my blood pressure. But that being said, for all of the, and my employer is like one of the top 15 medical schools in the country. So, I mean, we're selecting from a different pool, but, the kids are all right. I mean, despite any sort of crazy, strange education notions the teachers have, these kids are learning and they're doing a good job. Like I said, the girl that's hanging out with us last week and this week has been utterly phenomenal. And then I've had a first-year med student embedded in my clinic every year, and the guy that we had this year was fantastic. He had a pretty quick, learned pretty rapidly. He was willing to roll his sleeves up and dive in, and he was
That's
a quick
awesome.
study. So, I mean, they're picking the right talent. It's just a matter of some of their cockamamie ideas. Some of these kids somehow overcome it and still become really good doctors. So,
I've known a couple of folks that got to where maybe they're starting an internship or they're starting to do some kind of experiential learning or some practical stuff, and that's when they're like, okay, maybe this isn't for me. Once they get their hands a little dirty. But because the academics are the academics. You're going to go to university and learn something, and it's going to be its own version of challenging. But yeah. So that was a fantastic way to spend the evening with family and some friends there. In game, well, I haven't spent a whole lot of time in game. I didn't join you guys this weekend. The time I have spent in Elite has been just trying to get my Fed rank up so I can get that hot rod Corvette that I so desperately want now. So you can take that into those maybe now working power CCs. I'm sitting in a power CC and open, so they work. It did find. We got the hail from our friends over on Yong Rui Discord, and they said, "Hey, we're having some fun."
Let's back up and clarify something. So you said power CZs are working, but these are the power CZs that's part of the community goal, or these are the power CZs kicked off normally?
Okay, that's a fair question. I am currently sitting in a CG PCZ. Of which there are a few different varieties to pick from. I think there's like 9 different stations or 7 different stations. We'll cover this in a little bit of what you can go fight in. But just yesterday, I was in an organically grown grass-fed power CZ in LHS 129. With Quasi. I think there were some other folks flying around there from the Screws, and they worked great for whatever reason. And open yesterday,
part of the Thursday tick, pre-Thursday tick or post-Thursday tick?
Was today pre-Thursday tick?
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. So it had not no BGS were kicked off in that area.
Well, wait, we had a system, I want to say on Friday, maybe Thursday or Friday last week, that did work for a night. That was the kind of the normal situation.
Yeah.
BCCs work for a night, then they just stopped working entirely. I forgot where that was. Yesterday, I was completely surprised. But I saw, I think Trax posted that he was there doing some stuff, and some of the folks from our Yong Rui Discord, they were doing some stuff. So yeah, that's where I ended up, and it was pretty good fun. I mean, I love them so much.
Okay. All right.
And other than that, Steam sales on, guys, and I'm still just I'm just a gamer at heart, and I just kept on buying games that I'll probably never play again.
What'd you buy?
Oh boy, let's see. Well, because I got the VR, Assetto Corsa is a PC racing game. It's a simulator that does support VR now, so I'm very excited to give that a go. I spent a lot of time in Forza Motorsport over the last year. It was probably the game I was playing most before I started playing with you guys back in November, October last year.
I really enjoyed Forza. We
Love 'em.
we have it for Xbox, and I haven't played it in a while, but that was something that I really enjoyed. Again, I mean, it's probably for the same reason I love Elite. It's that all these different cars feel different, drive different.
Mm-hmm.
You use them differently for different courses, and then you can tweak them. You can engineer them, so to speak. And
absolutely,
and
it does scratch that itch.
Yeah, it really does. And I love that. And I love the tracks. I love the scenery. I mean, some of the places, the vistas that you go to are just absolutely gorgeous. I really want to go to Prague. I mean, after that's my favorite course. I would always drive this Lotus. It was
Exige.
the Exige. Yeah. Because my uncle had a Europa, but they don't have a Europa in the game. It's like a 1970s Lotus, and so I drove the Exige, and that was just a lot of fun.
It's great, and I'm a huge Formula One fan, and so getting the chance to just spend an hour racing at Spa-Francorchamps is it's so great, and just like in Elite, a lot of other games, you get into flow. Sometimes I'm just setting hot laps. I'm not even racing against folks. I'm just kind of in flow. I got that, a few other games, and excited just to dig through those. But I'm a big fan of the $5 or less games. I feel like I'm walking into like Walmart or GameStop and shoving my hand into the basket and pulling something out and saying, "Yeah, I'll give this a go." See what. So I bought RoboCop. Which is just a ridiculous
How old is
premise.
RoboCop? How old is that game?
RoboCop is, I feel like, pretty new. I'm gonna check it out right now.
Because the movie's
RoboCop, it is old. It is 2023.
Okay,
Just
wow.
A couple years old. It looks fantastic. The graphics look wonderful, and it's a first-person shooter. And I'm assuming you're just walking around like a big tank shooting people.
Ooh.
That's what I'm hoping. Because that's something you can do in a video game, folks. All right. You got to get your rocks off in video
Walk
games.
around and shoot people.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Video game. Walk around and shoot people.
Yeah. Remember that. You go outside, you say, well, I shoot some people. No, turn around, go back, play some video games. There it is.
Yeah. Clear.
Okay. So, other than that, that's been my week. It's actually been really enjoyable. I just actually outfitted a federal gunship for the first time.
Ooh, the fun ship.
Honestly, I've never used it before. I got a drop ship at one point and then never went back to a federal system to buy the other. Was it the drop ship, the assault ship, or the gunship? Right. So I skipped over the assault ship, went straight to the gunship, and it's just it's almost AFK fun. It's just a bunch of gimbal turrets or whatever on there. I did put one fixed hard point to put a plasma accelerator at the very top, so I can have a little bit of fun while I'm just slowly taking down shields and stuff. But I've got my fighter pilot with me, Roderick, and we were just killing it out there. Yeah, having a great
I have
time.
one that's all lasers.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it's just like it's a great support vessel if we're ever doing like a not a piranha night or a whatever. I mean, it's not a piranha, but it's just like I just go and like blast shields off for people and. I know it's bigger than a piranha, but still.
It's kind of a fun ship. It does fly like crap, but you actually would think it's worse. But every time I do look at it, though, I just see a hauler that's been like stretched. It's just like scale a hauler up like 3.5 or something. Wild stuff. All right, well, let's see. Let's get into a squad update.
Incoming priority message.
Squadron briefing.
Alrighty, it's been a week. And so it has been a week since Oblivious has pointed out that the BGS is broken. And yes, the BGS is still broken. The Pax Screwiana is coming into fruition. We do have a war in LTT 16910 that we really don't care too much about. We're fighting the Broke Gear Gang, and the Broke Gear Gang is this group of really nice fellows. And between real life and other things, they've kind of gotten away from playing a lot, and somehow somebody else took the system from them. And I don't know if it was just random noise and no one was paying attention, and one person won, one day on a CZ, and it's in someone else's hands. So, I reached out to the Broke Gear Gang, and they were like, "Hey, we're really not playing very much." So, I mean, I don't mind it being a protectorate of ours, but it's not something I'm losing sleep over. We have one last system to reconquer, BD plus 493937. I think it's going to be the heaviest lift, but we're already moving to engage the leading faction, which is a non-player faction, and hopefully we pull that one off in the next week or two. We have a joint power play operation called Joint Operation Kegstand. My fraternity brother from Psi Kappa Omega, or Psycho, since no one's got the fucking joke for the last 3 months. Psi Kappa Omega, Psycho. It ain't hard, Come on, people. Thought some of y'all were men of letters.
Yeah, Greek stuff.
Yeah, anyway, so the whole idea is that FC Andromeda is a system that when we Trailblazers opened, somebody was kind enough to colonize and allow us to assume control. So it's a loose screws system. It's in the heart of Li Yong Rui space. And it's something that we should have Li Yong Rui control. And so we're getting close. We just need some people to do some power play and do it before Antal or Archer get their claws in there, because they've already may have a beachhead. Their beachhead is kind of at 0%, but they already have a beachhead. So it's something I think we want to just try to secure that one before someone else decides they want to do it. So and then we are in 253 systems. We are controlling 71. We have 195 stations, 330 settlements, and 95 installations, and one megaship. We got one whole megaship. So that is the squad update. If you are interested in talking more about Broken BGS, come to the Loose Screws channel in our Discord. We have plenty of people who like to complain about how BGS is broken. And now it's beginning to interface with power play in a positive way. So participate in Joint Operation Kegstand. That's what we got.
I love that name. That's a great name.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's wonderful. What megaship do we own?
I have no idea. I have absolutely no clue. So let's see. Let's see if we can figure that out. Do you want to do the
one
PP report, and I'll tell you?
7 Andromeda or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's keep it moving. That's amazing. And Pax Screwiana, just so we're clear, is that are we entering an era of peace?
That's what we are doing. I think we are entering an era of peace. At least I'm praying and knocking on wood.
It's beautiful. Maybe everybody that was just messing with us has started playing Dune Awakening or that other space game or something. Yeah. That's
one can hope.
Pretty good. Yeah, one can hope. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go into. It's gonna be
and watch everything burn to the ground by morning.
We can only hope.
The Huns at the bay.
This is the short PP report.
It's average, so get your facts straight.
Right. Li Yong Rui. He's back. It's cycle 36, and we've got our first Li Yong Rui community goal. It's a three-way too. It's a menage a trois, so to speak. Is that what that means? Yeah, well, I mean, it's Archer again, so it's technically, I guess, I don't think it's joint. I feel like we'll read up on the CG in a second, but essentially we've got Aisling Duval space, and we've got both Archer and Yong Rui vying for some element of it. So it's kind of a bit of a microcosm of power play happening. But I think it's very interesting if you look at the number of folks that have signed up for the CG. So far, from what I can tell, it looks like about 850 or so commanders have signed up for Aisling, and Archer and Yong Rui both have about 400 each. So I wonder if Fdev is kind of seeing those numbers and saying this would be an awesome, balanced fight. It's not like Archer and Yong Rui are aligned by any means. If you see an Archer ship flying around and you got the green and is it green, orange, whatever it is, you're wearing the green, you gotta go shoot them. But you're not going to get any points for the CG. You got to shoot the Imperial ships to get points for the CG. But hey, listen, this is like a Royal Rumble as far as I'm concerned. You're in the ring with us. And listen, I can say that because I just blew up my first ship. So I'm just I'm one of those types of guys now that does that types of thing. So let's do it. So we got our first CG. I'm really excited about that. We'll talk about that in a second. A quick update. We've been talking about power play data. Fdev has come out and said it is still disabled. They are still kind of investigating the correct way to bring it back. So until then, power play settlement data is still disabled, which is okay because, stay in your ship and shoot folks. This is a space game, so do that. So actually, this is going to be pretty short. So let's go.
Did anybody lose?
Yes.
Territory over the reset? Who?
Okay, so you're talking the reset from the exploit,
Yeah,
or the Thursday tick.
well, it
Exploit.
would have
Gotcha.
been from the exploit, but that would have kicked in on this tick, or was it? Maybe that could be.
It would have been. It was actually the last couple of ticks.
Okay.
And yeah, so the power play faction that was involved mostly in this exploit was folks that were aligned to Rissa Lavinia Duval's power play. And to be fair, the folks that are organized around the Empress, vehemently denied, involvement in using the exploit. But
Right.
Either way, those systems were being undermined and then were being acquired by ALD. So ALD definitely saw a loss last week. I think they lost like 4 systems during the last, 2 weeks ago. This tick, though, everything's kind of resetting, kind of back to normal with a couple of new caveats that we're going to talk about when we get to dev news. Because I feel like the power play update this week is a CG and it's a dev update. So it's actually really cool because we haven't had a power play update in a while.
All right.
So why don't we go through the leaderboard real quick? We're going to use Nicey's numbers this week. And we're just going to run through them real quick. We've got in 12th place, we've got Zemina Torval. Oh my God. And when we read the CG later, Zemina Torval had the best quip about Aisling Duval. So there's some infighting happening with the Imperials. It's fantastic. Anyways, 12th place for Grandma Torval. But she did gain 47 points as far as Nice is concerned. So that's a big haul for Zemina. So I feel like we've had multiple weeks now where I feel like I should stop poking fun at Zemina Torval because they're really stepping up their game. Felicia Winters in 11th place at 28 points, increase from last week. So good stuff. I want to say that they have 106 fortified systems compared to the other folks at the bottom of the stack. That's definitely the most from we'll call them the back markers in F1 terminology. Then we have Denton Petraeus. He's in 10th place. He gained 20 points in this last cycle. In 9th place, we have Archon Delane. Increased his points by 23. Interesting enough, Nakado Kane also got 8th place this week with 36 points added to her point total. Nakado Kane and Archon Delane actually have the same amount of fortified systems, but Nikaido Kane, 54 strongholds. So that's really interesting. Yeah, so there's that. Let's look at Pranav Antal in 7th place. That's a 78-point increase, which is the 3rd most increase this week. They have 57 strongholds, not doing too bad in the midfield. And right above in 6th place, we have Jerome Archer gaining 48 points this past week. They've got 81 strongholds, but they're not really that strong. They're kind of weak holds for Archer. That's okay. In 5th place, we have the Yong Rui, our frat boy, getting 70 points. That's a fantastic gain there. We have 111 strongholds. So that's the highest up until this point, until we get to the very tippy top of the leaderboard. So we've got Yuri Grom in 4th place. That was a 53-point increase. 70 strongholds for Yuri Grom. Eben Monhan in 3rd place, extra 78 points. So 2nd most point increase from last week, with 83 strongholds. In 2nd place, we have Arisa Lavigne Duval, only gaining 16 points. They had a rough week last week. Let's just be fair. They were very distracted last week, right? So let them be. But that was, they have 118 strongholds. That's a lot. That's a lot of strongholds. And last but not least is Aisling Duval with the most amount of gained points this week with 98 gained points and 114 strongholds. And that's the week's leaderboards. I think we might have gotten some movement in the bottom of the stack there. But I'm not doing a great job of keeping track of it. So those are the leaderboards for this week.
Yeah, but it's good to see that the bottom is moving a little bit. So, I mean, it just shows that people are participating in different ways, like with different factions and things like that. And with, I think, all the looming changes coming up, I mean, it's going to be an opportunity for them.
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely, my favorite part of the game is the social aspect. For a lot of players, though, they log in, they just want to get their PvE on. They're going to be in solo most of the time, maybe private group with a couple of close buds, and they're probably going to pledge what fits their headcanon, because they have the freedom to do that. I'm stuck with you guys.
Yeah, you are. Sorry.
Yeah, and
no headcanon, you're just stuck.
I'm just stuck, but it could be worse, right? Yeah, we could be like in Denton Petraeus space or something.
That would be truly dreadful.
It'd be weird. It would just feel weird.
Yeah.
So that's that. So why don't we so if you guys want to join the fun, get on the Loose Screws Discord. Find us in the Power Play Hub. We have a wonderful Power Play discussion that you should join, and we do talk about a ton of stuff there. If we find some live PCZs, that's where you're going to find out where they're at. And every week, I decide if I'm going to post orders or not. Well, hey, look, the PCZ I'm in, we just won. Very nice. Like this week, we'll probably post some orders, but I'll be honest with you guys. Get into that CG. I think we're going to have a ton of fun with that this week. There's just a ton of people. Even in this instance, I see 4 or 5 commanders just flying around me. So this is pretty sick, and I don't know any of them. That's my favorite part.
And honestly, it's a lot of fun to be flying with a bunch of open triangles.
Yeah,
it's just it just adds to the game. So I mean, I'm sure that there are people out there that like being in solo and whatever, but just take the training wheels off, get out there, and I mean, if your ship blows up a couple of times, I mean, that's no big deal. I mean, I'm saying that sitting on 25 billion credits, and rebuy's a rebuy, whatever. But just go out there and have fun. I mean, it's fun to fly with other pilots. I mean, there's one CZ a while back. There was another pilot. I think it was a Levine Duval, but the Empress. It was like an Empress follower, and I mean, we were just fighting in parallel. It was just one of those things where it's like I just didn't have a situation where I was like, oh, I have a really nice opportunity to take them out because we're fighting on opposite sides. But we're just flying in parallel, like each doing our own thing, and even that was just a good time. So I mean, there was kind of a weird non-aggression between the two of us, but it was just like, because if I was going to drop the gloves, I wanted to make sure I was going to drop the gloves, drop the hammer, and have them not know what hit them. But and if they fired first, I would have just gone to town. But I think they figured they were outgunned. So
What were you in?
I was actually in my Python Mark 6 all frags.
Yep.
So that's like six overcharged frag cannons. I could just unload pretty quick. So and they were in something that it was just like it would have been a seal clubbing, unless it was Chegg with an alt, and then I would have been dead.
Oh, Chegg with an alt, that's a sight.
Yeah, I think they were competent. I think their rank was competent. So I was just like, because
that's fair.
Yeah, I was just kind of, I don't know. I just, but I'll attempt murder tonight. So
there's one thing that, we all, when Power Play released, it brought the galaxy a little bit together, right? It made it feel a little bit smaller. To be fair though, conflicts are still kind of hard to come by. So there are people that have mixed opinions on the CG, and let's get into that. We'll talk a little bit about the Galnet news article. We'll talk a little bit about the CG. People have some really strong opinions on, oh no, the devs are God-handing, conflicts or changing the shape of the galaxy and politics. And guys, they have a couple of systems here. They put some PCZs. I think this might even be a part of a reaction to some of the stuff we've been saying. Here are some conflicts for you guys that we know work 100%. Go ahead and enjoy them. Their combat, get in there. And just like any other CG, you get those, you get the beacons that go off, and people just end up in those systems. Yeah. And it's a ton of fun. Which reminds me, if you pledge the Yong Rui, we will pay for your rebuy costs. So if the more you play and rank up with Yong Rui, they will pay for your rebuy costs. And if you're a new player, for Power Play, that is huge. One of the reasons that I didn't come out with you guys very often during Thargoid War was because I couldn't afford it, as silly as that sounds. I've been playing for a time, but I never really had much money, so rebuy was still something I was concerned about. And then you kind of just gave me a bunch of money, and then, then we became friends after that. That's how you buy my friendship.
Bought another one.
Yeah, but so you know, Yong Rui is writing off his corporate tax with all of your rebuys. So,
well, of course,
yeah, there's just less money going to the alliance tax coffers.
It's just like cost of goods sold, baby.
It is.
That's all it is. What's the landed cost?
Wait, back up a little bit. Tell me about this CG. What is this CG? Let's give the listeners.
All right, so let's start.
More background.
Let's start with the Galnet article. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So today, July 3rd, 3311, we've got a Galnet article. Power struggle erupts in Ashling-held territory. Tensions have erupted between Imperial, Federal, and corporate interests in a contested region of space currently controlled by Princess Aisling Duval. So there's your headline. So we're going to skip ahead a little bit. Shadow President Jerome Archer, fresh from a decisive security victory in Eridani, has announced federal operations within the region, overriding Duval's objections and citing long-term stability goals, despite remarks of disapproval. President Felicia Winters has not moved to halt Archer's advance, which means Archer's doing what he wants to do. But simultaneously...
But I think that they're raw over the whole Sol incident.
Yeah.
I mean, when you really think about it, I mean, you had the...
Remind us what that was. Remind that what that was.
Yeah, so right after the Thargoid War, there was this huge strike into Sol space by Aisling Duval's her pilots, and there was a huge amount of Aisling influence that went in, and they almost and it was because the Thargoid War froze all of the power play for a while or something like that.
Well, it removed it power play because all the population had to evacuate.
Right, that's what it was. Sorry, yeah. So the whole population was removed, and that's a vacuum had to fill it, and the prismatic princess came in and filled the void and almost took control of Sol. And all of the Archer people were just butthurt over the whole thing because they're like, we didn't ask our Sol to be invaded by the Thargoids and screw up our power play. So I think the God Hand kind of made a correction there, but it was never forgotten. So it created some plot threads.
There were issue tracker pages. There were support tickets.
Open letters. There were open letters on Reddit.
Guys, it's so good. Like that's okay. I want my conflict to be organic, and it kind of was in this case. It was kind of an unintentional consequence of all the population left, so you don't have any influence in that system anymore. Gone. So that now there's a vacuum as people begin to populate the system again, and it was Sirius, it was Procyon, it was Alpha Centauri, it was Sol, it was all of those systems in the core of kind of human inhabited space. How cool was that? That was Divergent gameplay. It was at that time that that was like kind of the first agreement we had heard between Archer and Yong Rui, which we don't like agreements, right? But
no, we do not.
No.
It was hey,
We don't
we're
agree
actually
with agreement.
Archer says we're gonna fight for Sol and Alpha Centauri. That's what we're worried about. If Yong Rui, if you want to fight for Sirius, we're gonna have pilots in there having a good time, but you can take it because that's your corporate headquarters, right? And that was interesting, but the rest of it was just absolute chaos. Absolute chaos. It was beautiful. All right, so in this conflict, in this part of space, simultaneously, the Sirius Corporation has entered the fray, offering itself as a neutral authority. CEO Yong Rui claimed that based on our simulated forecast, a corporate-administered model devised by Sirius government. Oh my God, dude! Just say you want to get in there and get your capitalism on. What are you talking about? What is that? Oh God!
It's a market. It's a new market. There's nothing wrong with that.
Is this system backed up by some stronghold?
Yes. So the part of space that we're in, I'm gonna actually get into the Gal map and take a look at this. So there are a couple of systems in play here. We'll go to the CG for more information here, but I want to leave with a quote from Grandma Zemina Torval. Grandma Torval criticized what she called a predictable failure of the media, darling strategic naivete. However, the princess has since issued broad call to arms. But I love it. A predictable failure of the media, darling strategic naivete.
That sounds like that's fake news.
Yes. That sounds like, listen, that girl's on her TikToks all day. She'll believe whatever she sees. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Let's take a look at the particulars here. There are 3 simultaneous CGs running. You can align yourself to only one at a time. You can either align yourself to Yong Rui, to Archer, or to Aisling Duval. In each case, you're in a different system. So there's a bit of a front line that develops. The 3 systems are Gondul for Yong Rui, Santi for Archer, and Maitine, that's for sure is not pronounced that way, but you'll figure it out, for Aisling Duval. At which point there are maybe 3 conflict zones per CG that you can participate in.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And they seem to be around actual stations, each and every one of them.
Cool.
So it's a really interesting conflict. The whole point of it, if you're
the
Aisling,
station's firing on you?
Well,
only if you fire at them.
Yeah, that definitely did die in my first 5 minutes.
Yeah. You can open up your hard points within the 7 kilometers or whatever it is that you're not supposed to open your hard points. Like that's been waived, but if you hit the system's going to hit the station's going to hit you back hard.
All right. So
yeah.
Trigger.
So don't miss.
Trigger disciplines is a must. Got it. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, and if you're out there with me, like me with birdshot, go ahead and point away from the station.
Yeah.
That'll be good for everybody involved. You'll thank me later. So yeah, I mean, if you're aligned to Yong Rui, your goal is to destroy Aisling Duval ships. If you're aligned to Archer, your goal is to destroy Aisling Duval ships.
Yeah.
If you're aligned to Aisling, you're allowed to destroy Archer or Yong Rui ships for your contributions. So I think this is very interesting. This is new. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Your rewards. Are you guys curious about the rewards?
I am
Oh, yeah.
curious.
What's
Tell
the
us about
payout?
the rewards.
Well, they actually might be kind of good this time. I'm no Trax. I'm no Chig, but I do know that you will get one set, at least, of a gimbaled frag cannon, pre-engineered, with double shot and high capacity modifications. That will be a size 1 and a size 3 gimbaled frag cannon, pre-engineered with double shot and high capacity modifications. You'll get 2 sets if you're in the 75% or above of the CG. That's pretty good.
It's a good deal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Gimbal.
Yeah. And I mean,
So-
because, yeah. So the high capacity offsets the one
High
flaw with rapid
capacity
fire.
and what is it? Gimbal,
Mhm.
high capacity, and what's overpowered?
Double
Rapid
shot.
fire.
Double shot.
Rapid fire. Yeah, there you go.
Double.
So double shot.
Double shot.
Okay. All right.
How do you feel about them?
I'm
Need to
intrigued.
Plug within.
I've been using overcharged, and the whole idea is the debate between, the increased damage from overcharge versus the increased damage from rapid fire as far as DPS goes. The problem with rapid fire is you run out of ammo too fast, and so you're always synthing ammo or whatever. And so having the larger clips with that is a boom. It's a kind of a perfect marriage, because even though you're not going to be on target all the time and you're not going to hit with every pellet every time, a rapid fire, I think the math, Nurgle and Trax were looking at this. I think the math comes out that if you are on target, you're basically just face tanking a giant ship. You're going to get a little bit more DPS out of the these. The only thing that I am sad about is that they're probably not something where you could add experimentals. Because one of the best things about frag cannons is being able to add experimentals, because you have drag drives, you have corrosive, which are kind of the go-tos. But some people will put incendiary on it and just have them melt the shields on the first shot.
I always have one. Have one on. Yep.
So it's so not having experimentals to add, that's a little bit of a bummer, but I think I can make them work on the ship. So yeah, might swap them out on my Mamba just to see what happens.
Yeah, I just scavenged everything off of my Mamba and threw it on the Python Mark II, and wow, good God, what a ship!
Yeah,
what a ship! And as always, folks, if you are pledged and aligned, if you're pledged to the Power Play Power that emerges victorious, you've contributed something, you're going to get 40,000 merits. And I guess you're going to get the little cockpit banner customization.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
but you have to win.
Okay. Who's gonna come out victorious on this one?
Ooh, this is a tough one. Let's say some.
Is it?
Yeah. Is it?
I don't know.
It's going to be Ashley.
Too many himself.
Yeah, it's going to be Ashley.
So I mean, here's the thing. Even if, because, and I'm not saying I would like to. All right, listen, I don't want to tag team with Archer, but because it is 2 against 1, no matter what, the 2 are split, right? So Aisling gets to just keep on getting these major contributions because they can blow up 2 sets of ships, but we're split and smaller at both about half size of Aisling. So yeah, there's no way.
Suggesting an alliance with Archer?
I would never, and I have never.
Don't know. Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm not sure I could stomach that.
Amazing. But yeah, so that is the That's the CG. I think it's fantastic. You guys should get out there, give it a shot. Go and open. Give it a shot. Get blown up.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be fine. All right, so Box.
I'm excited to get blown up.
Yeah, I mean, I literally shot the ship in like the first 3 minutes and just blew up. I had no idea what happened, and then it said, the megaship blew you up. Mm-hmm. Fair.
Yep.
Fair. Cool. All right. What about some dev news? This week we had there is some dev news. There is
Nice.
Trailblazers update 3.4.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Which is misleading because it's really a power play update, but I guess we're just calling it the last update. We're using that last update plus a number until the next update.
We'll
I
take
thought we
it.
were done with numbers. Okay, we'll take it. We have a new CG type of which we are experiencing today. So there's that. There's the news. In a quote from the release notes, further changes have been made to power play in order to encourage more aggressive play and create more vulnerability and therefore fluidity in power play. Aggressive play. When was the last time you
if
guys
you want
had
to
some
have aggressive
play?
You have to
Been a
make
while.
sure that a power CV actually kick off, that they work in North America, and they don't disappear when a BGS war breaks out in the system where the power CG is. And then you can have all kinds of aggressive play.
There it is. This is our version of aggressive play right here.
Right.
Well, you know what? I believe it's in another quote from the release notes. A fix for power conflict zones not starting due to missing faction information.
What does that mean?
I don't know what that means.
That
I don't know what that means.
Okay. So our North American bug is you fly into a power CZ in open, and NPCs never populate the CZ. Is that because it's, I don't know. That kind of, I don't know how to read that.
I think they're
I
mad
think-
about the Revolutionary War.
This is it, guys. The jury's not out, guys. It's done. The tea's been spilled. That's good. You want a little robotics
Okay, so
there.
we
Let
don't
that
have
slide.
at this point. Yeah, from a science standpoint, we've got the CG. That's God out. So we need to be looking for is a natural power. Are we seeing anything different? But now you mentioned earlier we had one power CG that seemed to have lasted the week, but we didn't see a BGS war break out there, so that kind of makes sense. So what we need to be looking for, any naturally occurring power CDs, protect BGS wars on up, and if they continue after that, to see how this applies. Otherwise,
Yeah, we're going to do some science.
I don't know how to read things. They're weird to me. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're spot on. I mean, I get to see how release notes are crafted nowadays, and this is about as vague as it gets because it doesn't actually address the player perceived issue. Yeah, well, there were no emojis on this one, so this one
emoji
is about see. You can have it generate anything for you. You will get emojis. I promise you, you will get emojis.
Gotcha.
All right. So, what about some of these balance updates? We could go through all of this. It's not that long, but there's a couple of things I want to highlight. Get your guys' reaction to that, and we'll see how it goes. First thing, system control points now decay over time. So, if you have a stronghold at 100%, and then you neglect that stronghold, it will slowly decay each cycle down to a minimum of 25%. So it can never lose a state by itself.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right.
So bottoms out at 25%.
That makes sense.
What do you guys think about that?
I think it's great. I mean, I think it's fantastic. I mean, I think that one of the things, good or ill, with BGS is that, you have to do something to do something. But the superpower ranks, all of your superpower ranks regress down to 75%. So we've had the mechanism in game of, not that superpower, superpower reputation really matters at the end of the day, but you get up to 100% and it just decays down to 75% if you haven't been flying in Imperial. Like I've never been in Imperial space since a very long time. So that's decayed down to 75%. If they decayed it down to 50%, I would be fine with that. But I think it's a good feature because, we have so many in Yong Rui space, so many 100% fortified systems that you have almost no chance of, sowing some chaos, putting someone on notice, making somebody sweat, because we're going to notice when it's down to about 92% and we're going to be like, you're going to try to mess with us. But if you ignore my our core stronghold for screw space, that's going to be down to 25% at some point. And then, some mischief maker could come in and, drop a whole bunch of merits at that point and drop a bunch of control points, and we're like all of a sudden fortified. So I think it's good. I think what it does is it's going to stir the pot, which is, I think Fdev wants the pot stirred but from our standpoint, it just makes it a lot more fun. You have all of these powers with all of these, so much stuff spread over like hundreds of strongholds, hundreds of fortified systems. And it's like, you could really punch someone really hard if you wanted to, if you're really thoughtful about it. And especially since the more things are going to be closer to being vulnerable.
Yeah, I totally agree.
It does fit from everything that I've heard from FDev as far as, they're wanting, for lack of a better term, more conflict, more head-to-head stuff going on. And you see the changes they've made. It's making it more difficult for you to turtle your stronghold, the points or the merit for strengthening your position keep rolling off and off, where they increase merit type of reward for undermining other systems to bring folks into conflict. And they've been consistent about that, I think, throughout. That's what they want to be create those areas. Abuse, though, is the mechanic that's been going on our TV. It's like tweaking it.
Right.
Mechanic it.
We got robotic oblivious guys.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
but I think what he's saying is that, they haven't fixed some of the really cool features of the game, like the power CZs, like the standard power CZs. But they're spending a lot of time adjusting the sliders and adjusting the levers of, what you can do for reinforcement versus undermining. And that's low hanging fruit. Those are, from a programmer standpoint, some very easy adjustments you can make. If FDev's listening to us, and I know that they are, because they're our biggest fans, please fix the power CZs. I don't know how many times you can do that. We love flying our spaceships. We love fighting. We love combat. We're going to be participating the hell out of this CG. And I think it was almost a love letter to the loose screws and the Yong Rui people that were included in a Empire versus Fed, matchup that's now all of a sudden magically a threesome, because they know that Trax wants to fly in power CZs, and they're like, and this is I know this is their way of saying we're working on it. It's really tricky to kind of make that adjustment without turning the Thargoids into guardians. So we've tried a couple of times, and everybody's hard points fall off their ships if we fix it. So we're working on it, but we're just going to throw this other crazy CZ in just for Trax. So
it completely works for me. For me. Big fan of that. how about this additional mechanic? So, a new mechanic they introduced in this update is a defensive mechanic. So if there's been a rebalance, we'll talk about the ultimate kind of low value rebalance in a second.
Yeah.
But if you do have an offensive power undermining a system, the defenders of that system will then get a boost up to 20% to reinforcing actions, depending on the amount of undermining taking place in that system. So if there is active undermining, you will get a bonus to your defensive actions inside of that system. So that, again, incentivizes conflict in a really good way.
Yeah, and participation.
Mhm.
So, fight here where, you got a fighting chance, kind of thing. I think that's cool.
Yeah, I
So,
think that's
because
great.
it's like, yeah, we have this, reinforcing, our peaceful systems. And, you have the perfectionists. You got the perfectionist video game players who are like, I want everything at 100% or whatever it is. And they'll sit there and fortify systems that are so deep into their territory that, no other power has any interest in it because they like seeing everything at 100%. And I think that, like somebody decides to attack you on your border and, your reinforcement rate of negative 35% or whatever the heck it is, it's like, oh my gosh, I probably don't have a fighting chance defending it. But it's like, oh, they're attacking. You can defend. Please defend over here. Please don't defend over there. Stop being the perfectionist and play the game against other people. And I think that Fdev's really trying to make an effort towards player-player interaction, whether it's direct, like, oh, hey, open hollow triangles, or it's simply the people who aren't comfortable playing in open that want to play in solo. Come on out, play in open. We love you, please. But the people who want to play in solo or play in their power group or their private group or whatever, yeah, they could still make that influence there, and they have a fighting chance. So I think it's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so let's go to the foundation change here. There has just been a balance. Some merit game bonuses have been adjusted. The offensive activities get no change. So if you're still just reinforcing, you're still getting that kind of not a bonus, but that negative. Does it like negative 20%? Was negative 35%? Something like that.
Yeah,
Something like that. I can't remember it now. So that's still in full effect. But now offensive activities got a bit of a boost, kind of. If you are truly undermining another power system, you're going to get a 15% bonus up from 5%. So that's going to be huge. And again, now I get this tug of war now, right? You get this 15% bonus to undermining, but if you have a lot of undermining happening, that's a 20% boost to defensive actions. That will be a tug of war, depending on how those things are working out. What has changed, though, are those acquiring activities. So if you're out there acquiring unoccupied systems, no bonus. That was a 5% bonus. Went back to 0. They just reset that.
Operation Kegstand, no bonus.
No bonus.
No bonus.
But I mean, there was a huge. I mean, over the last few weeks after that balance, there was just a ton of systems being acquired. We saw huge spikes in these powers each week. 25, 30 systems even in a week. It's huge. I think that might be it from the update this time. We'll do a quick screen. I think that's it.
But again, I mean, this is another. These are examples of encouraging pilots to go where the other pilots are, as opposed to just I'm acquiring over here, and Antal's acquiring over there, and hopefully we're not going to bump into the same acquisition space, which is what led to PowerPlay 1.0 stagnation. Was that like all the deals and all of the and this is like, no, we want you guys to stir the pot. We're putting carrots out where it is to not the Lark Shadow carrots, but they're putting out carrots to in order for people to play where other people are playing. It's not just CGs, it's other things that they're doing with this. So it's exciting.
That is wonderful. The only thing I'll mention in the release notes, if you're still a console player and you're having issues transferring from legacy to live, that they're apparently they fixed some additional issues. So come to live, get Odyssey, I guess, or you have Odyssey and now you're on live. I don't know. Come join us in this universe and poke us. It's poke us in the eye. It's a good time. Well, listen, that might have been the discussion for tonight as well.
It was pretty discussioning.
That seems pretty discussioning. Do you guys have anything you would like to fit into this episode?
Yeah, Daxius
I
thinks
think
the Anaconda is the best ship in the game, and he wants you to prove him wrong.
Let's do it.
Prove him wrong?
Fight me. I mean,
He can be
Anaconda's a
found in
pretty
our
good ship.
Discord.
I love that.
Just drop him a note. Yeah.
Do it. Just do it. He's out there. He probably has a docking computer.
He probably does.
So
Yeah.
at least he knows.
We haven't shot him
at least
out
he knows some of his
already.
modules.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Super
points.
penetration rails just to take out the docking computers.
All right. If you haven't already, there is still possibly, which maybe we'll find out this week. If it's not, there's still that possible issue with the BGS, causing power play CZs to disappear. If you haven't already, the link in the show notes to upvote that issue. And this is something
Well,
we
I
should continue
have
to do.
one more thing. I forgot
Shoot.
about.
What is it?
If I'm not roboting.
You're not
so
robotic.
It's
You're
something-
androiding.
I think I heard. No, I'm iOSing. I think I heard Psychic say on Lave, and I think I heard because I was on a riding lawnmower at the time. It was quite loud. That
Oh, please bring this up. Did we hear
Either-
the same thing?
she has seen or has heard reports of NPCs in new ships.
We're playing a different
Mandalay.
game.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I wanted to put that out there. Has anybody seen that? Send us a drop us a note, whatever. I haven't seen them. I've been saying, when is it going to show up? I think she said one of the most recent power play updates or whatever, they've been appearing. So yeah, I want to put that question out. Anybody seen NPCs in new generation ships? Let us know.
Have you guys seen it? I haven't.
I haven't. No, been watching for it. I'd like to see it,
Yeah.
Blue?
but I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I got nothing. I think we're playing different games. Find us in Discord. Let us know if you've seen Power CZ ships in the game. And interact with us and stuff. Oh, I should also say that really ridiculous big sale is still going on in the Elite Dangerous store. I did buy my shill, the Yong Rui banner finally, so I can have it on all my ships. Deal with it.
Got all your
Deal
summer
with it.
colors, did you?
I picked up a couple summer colors. I also just bought a ship kit for the Python Mark II. Give me some cool
Good.
paint jobs, and that's the one with the Star Trek wing things on the side of it.
Ooh, like that.
Oh man, it looks so good. I didn't get the little saucer on the top, so I thought that was a little not the right ship for. But the little things on the side, it just looks like one of the I forgot what those like the little shuttles in that or whatever. Either way, it's beautiful. Reminds me of old Star Trek. All right, let's wrap it up. Come visit us at loosescrewsed.com, where we have our merch store, things like that. Find us on Discord. Link is in the show notes. It's super easy to join. You can also find the link on the loosescrewsed.com website as well. Is support us on Patreon. The link's in the show note as well, where we do put a ton of that money back into the community with events or other stuff. So there's that. I'm Commander Baramir signing off. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye. Love you. Insert outro music here.